We've planted hundreds of thousands of trees since we started Mossy Earth in 2017. All of them native and all of them planted to support wilderness. However, early on, we felt something was missing. Trees are not the only part of a wild ecosystem. Our experience on the ground taught us that there are other ideas worth pursuing, ideas that are key to unlock the true potential of wilderness restoration. We call them rewilding projects. Hi everyone, I'm Duarte, one of the co-founders of Mossy Earth, and in this video I want to tell you about the 3 ways through which we are making an impact with our rewilding projects. If you are new here and you are not yet a Mossy Earth member, this is a space where we explore ideas and solutions that help fight climate change and stop the loss of biodiversity. We are more than just talk though. We are all about on-the-ground action by implementing the strangest and most exciting ideas through our membership and our on-the-ground rewilding projects. If that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing and becoming a member. Now let's get into it. Rewilding. We use the term to describe all our interventions which aim to make our planet wilder, which we believe makes them the ultimate bang for your buck when it comes to restoring nature. We have 3 different types of projects we are working on. Through our Climate Heroes program, we support species and ecosystems that play a big role in climate change mitigation and adaptation. This includes setting up trials to bring back kelp forests in the ocean floor, where they'll capture large amounts of carbon and provide habitat for threatened marine life, or building an endangered plant nursery in the desert to support the return of native trees, but crucially also grasses and succulents, helping make the landscape more resilient to climate change. And in one of our newest projects, supporting the research and restoration of termite mounds as they help create an oasis of life and fight desertification. There is so much more to climate change than just carbon capture with trees. Through these projects, we are able to not only capture carbon, but also build habitat resilience and ultimately help wildlife cope with the tougher conditions that climate change will bring. Through our Keystone Species program, we support species that have a cascading positive impact on their ecosystem. The classic example of this are the wolves of Yellowstone, that after they were reintroduced changed the browsing behavior of the deer, which in turn allowed for the return of riparian forests, and eventually changed the course of the rivers themselves. We are currently focusing on supporting sea otter populations in California because they hunt sea urchins and help keep the seafloor healthy. And also vultures in Portugal and Namibia because they help rid the ecosystem of dangerous diseases and keep wildlife populations healthy. These types of projects allow us to pick the species that help keep the whole ecosystem in balance and will ultimately act as a multiplier for our impact. And finally, our Ugly Ones program, aimed at supporting less charismatic species or ecosystems that are endangered but receive less attention and funding because they're not a fluffy panda or a cute-looking lynx. This one is my favorite because all wildlife is precious regardless of their species. In fact, the stranger and the more unique, the better as far as I'm concerned. If, after all this disastrous change, we're only left with a few cuddly animals, I would be absolutely gutted. Our projects here include cleaning up cave ecosystems that are home to all kinds of unique animals, such as the olm and the Croatian dace, or supporting a tiny, boring-looking species of snail that lives in one cliff on a deserted island, but faces extinction due to changing conditions. These and some of the other animals with a bad reputation, such as the vultures and the termites that I mentioned before, all face really serious threats, but are actually quite underfunded when it comes to their protection. So I think by supporting these species, we are making a really big impact. So what are the next steps in Mossy Earth's journey? We have been doing rewilding projects since 2018 now. And after having done a lot of thinking and having had many feedback calls with our members, we are now confident that this is the main direction for Mossy Earth. Don't worry, we are never stopping our tree planting efforts. Reforestation is a great tool to help provide habitat for wildlife and also, of course, to store carbon from the atmosphere. But what we mean to say by this is that we will be spending more and more of our time and also our research efforts into rewilding projects. So from now on, if you are a Mossy Earth member, you can expect to fund a rewilding project every single month. To track all this wonderful impact, you can head over to your account. In the impact section, you can see all the projects that you have helped get off the ground, where they are and what they're all about. In the update section, you can expect to find weekly updates on how our projects are progressing and the new ideas we are thinking of implementing. As usual, please leave us any feedback you might have in the comments below. If you've never heard of us before, please go check out Mossy.earth, consider becoming a member. And if you're a member and you're stumbling upon our YouTube channel for the first time, check out this video about whales and how they help fight climate change. I think it's a really interesting story and the perfect example of why rewilding projects matter. Until next time. Cheers!